Hello everyone, it's your options guy. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about why Palantir is down. And then we're also going to discuss whether we should buy or if we should sell. And then lastly, we're going to go over my portfolio, talk about which options I played and why I played them and what I plan to do in the next couple days. Okay, so first let's talk about why it went down. So overall, the whole market or the majority of the market was up. It was like Apple was up, Microsoft was up, like the big players were kind of up, which caused the market to go up. However, Palantir was down. It was actually looking good in the beginning of the day. It even touched a high of 27.50. So at first I was like, whoa, like it looks like it's gonna be another green day. This is good news. And then we get smacked with another analyst saying how he's skeptical about Palantir. He's unsure whether Palantir will do great with like the Biden administration and stuff like that. So I think that's what probably caused Palantir to go down. Luckily it didn't go down that much. It stayed above 26. So again, another analyst that's just like giving his opinion, more like being skeptical. He's not too sure about what's going to happen with Palantir because of like their huge government business that they have. So again, this is what I said last time. The Palantir doesn't really care if it's Democrat or Republican. Like it doesn't matter. Like the Palantir has been around for a while. They worked with both parties. They worked with Obama. They worked with Trump. They're gonna work with Biden again. Even though Peter Thiel was a Donald Trump supporter, I don't think that really matters because Alex Karp is the CEO and he's more left-leaning, and I think both of them have expressed their opinions publicly. So I personally, politically wise, I don't think it really matters. Palantir, I think overall is in a good shape, and yeah, so don't worry about that. I think if anything, he's just trying to bring down the price down before we hit demo day. All right, so let's talk about if you should sell or if you should buy. So I would say only sell. It depends on where you got in. So if you got in maybe 27, 28, like high 20s, and you probably just can't take it anymore for whatever reason, because I know like Palantir keeps going up and down, and I know that we all want Palantir to hit 30. I feel like it's gonna hit 30 definitely soon, possibly next week with the demo day catalyst. But I feel like just keep holding. I want to sell if I were you. I know you're itching and scratching to sell because you're like, man, I've been holding this for a while, especially if you got in like in the high 20s. But yeah, if you bought like within like the 9 range, 10 range, or anything under 20, I think you're like in a super solid state. You should definitely just keep your shares. Now I'll talk about options in a second, but yeah, so long term wise, just you're good. I think like unless you just want to like take profits and go elsewhere, that's fine. But if you really don't care about that money, if I were you, I would just keep it there. It's a really good long term play. Talking about long term plays, today in the lightning round for Kramer, someone actually called in and was asking about Palantir like for a long term play, and Kramer actually said that it's a buy. Not that I think that really matters, but it's just thought you should know that Kramer suggested that it's a buy long term wise, so that's pretty good overall, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about options. So if you have options, or if you're playing options with Palantir, I don't recommend that you play options weeklies, especially because Palantir is so volatile. A good option play to buy, especially right now because we had like somewhat of a dip, would be probably 30 or anything around the 30 strike price, but I would choose something like March expiration if you can. Anything underneath that, it's a little bit of a gamble play. But yeah, I wouldn't be buying puts right now. If you want to play the put game, I would probably buy puts after demo day, because you never know what might happen after demo day. It could be like the Tesla play where Tesla had its battery day and it got super hyped, and then after battery day, most of the people are not really technical, so they don't really understand like what Tesla said. So then they're like, I don't really get this. I didn't hear a 1,000,000 mile battery, so I'm just gonna sell. So that's kind of what happened. I'm hoping that doesn't happen with the Palantir demo day. I do feel like it is gonna be more of like a kind of like a technical standpoint, talking about like the use cases and talking about how the AI works and their data software and all that stuff works. More on the technical side, they are gonna probably like showcase like business examples and stuff, but overall, I feel like the common investor is probably like, what the heck is this? They might actually think of it as a good thing. They might be like, whoa, this looks super complicated. I feel like this is advanced software and stuff like that, so they might actually buy more. So you never know. So if you're gonna play the put game, I would probably do it after demo day, depending on what happens. Anyway, so yeah, overall, ARK is buying again. I think they bought somewhere around 24,000 shares, somewhere around there. I don't know the actual number, but somewhere around there. So they keep buying. I think they bought 7,000 yesterday, if I remember. So they keep buying little by little. So before we get into my portfolio, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't already done so, especially if you're a Palantir bull and you don't want to miss out on me discussing about Palantir news, forecasting, and the options I play and all that stuff. It kind of reminds me of Tesla. So Tesla, for the longest time, it was like being crushed by the big players. They're saying like, oh, it's overvalued. I mean, I wonder if it's still getting crushed. Some players are still doing that. But yeah, for the longest time, it was just like, hey, like Tesla is way too overvalued. It shouldn't be valued this much for a car company and all that stuff. And then a lot of people miss that. Or maybe they just played dumb, I don't know. But they should have foreseen that Tesla's not just like a car company. It's like an Apple on wheels, basically. It's a computer, and it is like crazy innovation, and it's gonna change the world. It's already like 5, maybe more years ahead of everybody else. And everybody that's trying to get into the EV right now, they have to build infrastructure, and then they have to build factories and all this stuff. So all that takes time. And then so Tesla already has like 3 or 4 factories in the works and stuff. So Palantir is following something very similar, where for some reason, like every week or every other week, there's like a new analyst like talking trash of Palantir, saying how like they're not too sure about it. So they never talk bad about the business and never talk bad about the software. They always talk bad about whether they're unsure if it's gonna be still going, basically, or if they're gonna keep getting clients and stuff, because most of their business is within the government. All I know is that ARK invests in companies that are disruptive and that they plan to hold on to for a couple of years. So they wouldn't just be throwing money into Palantir if they didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And they keep throwing money. It's not just like they threw it once and then just got out of it or something. So ARK keeps buying, and there's a lot of risk factors that come into disruptive innovation companies and growth stocks. There's a lot of different types of things that can influence. However, if you believe in the company, if you believe in the software, if you believe in like what it can do long-term wise and all that stuff, stick with that company. Not just Palantir specifically, but stick with that company. And I think Palantir is probably one of them. So yeah. Anyways, so let's get into the portfolio and discuss my options and all that stuff.
Okay, so let's take a look at my portfolio. So today it wasn't that bad overall. I think only went down 1,300, and then an additional 500 in the after hours. So we're still holding above 100,000, which is good. Over the past year, we're doing good. We're almost 60,000. I really want to end this year at somewhere around 70 or 75,000. So I did start around March, and so far so good. So far good returns. Okay, so let's take a look at what I have. So I still have 6,000 shares. I keep planning to hold this until we hit either 2820 or above. It depends on what's happening with like the current market and all that stuff. But I'm definitely not gonna. I don't plan to sell at all right now. And even when Palantir dropped to like 23, 22, I was still holding. This was like negative 29,000, negative 40,000 not too long ago. So I've just been holding it, and I've been selling calls and puts along the way, just making premium. So right now I'm still holding onto the 25.50 puts that I sold, and they expire this Friday. So far I have 410. I'm waiting for an additional 340 in market value, so I just have to hold on till Friday just to keep all of that amount. Yeah, so I believe that Palantir will end above 25.50 by this Friday. Okay, so let's talk about which calls that I'm selling. So I'm selling 60 calls right here because I have 6,000 shares, so I'm able to sell up to 60 calls. And basically I'm saying that I believe Palantir will stay under 28.50 by this Friday. If it does, then I will get $960 in market value. Well, I technically have that right now, but I will be able to keep that full amount. So yeah, I believe Palantir, with the way it's going right now, I feel like it's gonna stay under 28.50. If it passes 28.50 or is 28.50 or above, that's actually still good with me. I mean, I'm gonna just miss out on that extra upside, but 28.50 is good for me to sell just 6,000 shares, because I would actually make up this negative 11,000 that I have down here and make an additional I think it was like 3,000 or 4,000, something like that. So I'm fine with it breaking 28.50 by this Friday. I don't think it will, by the way things are going. I feel like if anything, it might end either, if tomorrow's a green day, I feel like it might end like at 27, mid 27s by this week. If tomorrow's not a green day, I feel like Palantir can end up somewhere around either low 26 or high 25 range. Either way, I feel pretty good with these strikes, and yep. So let me show you guys what happened today also as well. So I did sell 28.50 somewhere in the morning, and I got, let's see, yeah, it was right here. So I sold these 28.50 calls right here, and I got 1,740 in premium. And then after a couple hours, I saw that they were in the green, and then I decided just to close them out. So I paid back 1,500. So I profited 240 right there. And this 960 that you see right here is for the calls that you saw earlier. The 960 is the ones for right here. So I have 960. I just have to wait out till Friday to keep that 960. So yeah, selling calls and selling puts, especially with Palantir, is definitely a good strategy. I love doing the wheel strategy. I love selling calls and selling puts, especially within a stock that I believe in long term. You should only be doing this with the stock you believe in long term, because technically overall you can just never really lose if the stock that you play with just keeps going up over the long term. So you're gonna keep making money whether it's going down, whether it stays flat, or whether it goes back up. So it's a good strategy. Anyway, so let's take a quick look at what I've been watching, just to highlight a couple things. So yeah, ARKW has gone up overall. However, Palantir did go down a little bit, and Palantir is part of that ARKW ETF. So Snow is down. Facebook and Twitter seem to be coming back up. Nano Dimension is doing really well. If I didn't have all my money in Palantir, I would probably have had some money in Nano Dimension back when it was 9-ish. Babo was good today because Jack Ma basically came back to life. Mara and Riot are both down, which is I guess a good buying opportunity if you're into the crypto stuff. I don't know too much about Mara or Riot. I haven't done enough research to say it's a good buy or not, but all I know is that they went down pretty heavy today, and there may be a good buying opportunity. Tesla is definitely one of my favorites, probably like my favorite, if not tied with Palantir. So Tesla's doing really well. Surprisingly, it never really did coming back down or after the S&P inclusion, so it's managed to stay well above. It's good trend. Let's see, what else do we have here? So Square's down. I think overall Square's a good company. Same with PayPal. So overall, I would keep buying those if you're playing the long-term game. Workhorse dropped a lot after hours, so that's something to look out for if you want kind of like a risky play, but potential 50% increase within your money. It's because I feel like Workhorse can easily go back to 30. So yeah, Apple and Microsoft both had a good rally today. So overall, if you actually look at this, the majority of the stocks that are kind of in red are somewhat heavy players within ARK. So not just Palantir, but like DocuSign, Roku, and Square. Those are all kind of heavy players within ARK. Same thing with Workhorse. So I'm seeing a pattern here. I don't think it was just Palantir that took a hit. Anyway, so yeah, overall, I mean, pretty sure you already know about Netflix, how it just went up like crazy today, and then Bitcoin's down. Probably like a good opportunity to be buying if you're into that. Yeah, so that's it for today's video. I'll discuss more about my portfolio, give more updates, and where I think we're headed, and any additional news that I see that pops up with Palantir, I'll definitely discuss that in the next video. So make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, leave any comments. I'll see you guys in the next video.